Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. Today is all about the new Melt eyeshadow palette. This palette is called Electrip. It retails for 58 bucks, but you can use a discount code. I'll put it down here that Melt currently has on their website. It is like 30% off site-wide. That's what I use to pick up this palette that I'll be creating 3 looks with. So if you guys want to see this palette in action, plus get some swatches and some dupe alternatives, keep on watching. So the Electrip palette dropped right before Easter, and it dropped with some other goodies. There were some gel liners, I believe there were some liquid lipsticks, there was a fanny pack. If you wanted the entire collection, I'll put a picture of it here, the entire collection retails for $175. I almost got it, but then I started looking at all of the things in it, and I was like, let me just get the palette, save myself some money. I've been buying a lot of things lately, but this is going to be a 10-pan palette full of matte and shimmer shadows. I am wearing this shadow right now. This one is called Saturn. I'm wearing it as a highlighter on top of the new Blend Bunny Juicy Cheeks palette, which you guys have already seen swatches of this palette. That was the video right before this one. But this palette reminds me of a couple other palettes that I have in my stash. So after I create the 3 looks, I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts on this palette and give you guys some dupe alternatives in case this Melt palette is not going to be in your future. You know I have you covered with dupe alternatives. I have a few Melt palettes in my stash. I don't have a lot of Melt eyeshadow palettes. I would say this is probably palette number 4, number 5. The last time I bought from Melt Cosmetics, I believe, was around this time last year when they re-released Gemini 1 and then they released Gemini 2, if I'm remembering correctly. So if I have enough videos, I'll have a Melt playlist linked in a pinned comment in case you guys need some more Melt inspiration. I have you covered. I'm excited for this one, guys. I'm liking the color story. I'm loving the blue with the gold, and we got some red down here. I think it's like a nice balance between colorful and neutral, and I can't wait to start creating 3 looks. So let's get into those looks right now. If you guys hear some loud banging or booms in the background, it is fixing to storm. There's a lot of thunder. We've just been getting rained on, which we needed the rain, but it's been like almost for a week straight. I don't mind. We went without rain for months, but yeah, if the lights flicker, if you hear some loud noises, it is the weather changing. So let me hurry up, stop talking and hurry up and start creating some of these looks. So I did say I'm using this one currently as a highlighter. I think it looks pretty good. I've already primed my eyelids with my, I don't have it in front of me, but my Sugar Drizzle eyeshadow primer. And if you ever want to buy something at Sugar Drizzle, you can use my code Steff10, and that is an affiliate code. It will give you 10% off of your order, and it will also help support me and this channel. I am going to start, since I am already working in this section, I'm going to start with this shade right here in the crease. This one is called Bang, and I'm taking Bang on a BK 202. Just gonna work that in the crease. Now I know for some of you, you've had good Melt Cosmetics experiences, and then you've had not so good Melt Cosmetics experiences. I am among those who have had good Melt Cosmetics experiences. The palettes I have all perform really well. I haven't encountered any duds or, you know, anything negative about the palettes. I would all say that, you know, all of them perform pretty well. You know, I don't have any issues. They are on the higher price side for indie makeup. They are a larger, obviously, indie makeup brand. I am not too sure when this particular palette is heading to Sephora. I am hoping that it goes to Sephora during the upcoming VIB sale, which starts on April the 14th in like a couple days. Don't worry, I am getting ready to film a couple of my dedicated Sephora VIB sale videos, and I will always be updating you guys of my recommendations in the community section here on YouTube and of course over on Instagram. So that shade blended out perfectly fine, no issues there. I think I'm going to do a little bit of this red in the crease and then use the brown to kind of deepen it up in the outer corner. So this red one is called Strawberry Fields, and I'm taking this on a Refer 14. Speaking of Refer and 14, so on the 14th, along with the Sephora VIB sale, Refer is opening up their concept store. So the entire site is going to be, is it half off or 40% off? I could be 40. I'll put it somewhere here on the screen what it is, but I will have my affiliate code linked in the description box and probably in a pinned comment, so you guys won't forget to shop that sale in case you need to stock up on some brushes. I totally recommend the Refer 14, the 13, especially if you have hooded eyes. Those are fantastic brushes. I usually do like a little graphic where I include like my favorite Refer products, which I have been enjoying their skincare quite a bit. Their essence, their face wash, and their moisturizer, all three I use almost on a daily basis. And I love that the essence comes in a pump. That is genius. But I will have more information closer, or like the day before the concept store goes live. And basically what that means is they put everything on the site in the concept store, and that way you're able to get it for a discount. And as you know, Refer brushes are natural hair brushes. They are undyed, uncut goat hair brushes. The same brush, I'm going to go into the dark brown. The shade is called Refer. And I'm going to focus that out here. These shadows are blending really well with one another. They're layering really well. Like, I'm barely having to blend. They're kind of just doing the work for me. Now I'm going to go in with this light blue shimmer shade. This one is called Blue Heaven. I'm using a damp Refer 21 to apply. So what I do is I pick up the shadow first, and then I spritz it with some little MAC Fix Plus. I'm sure you can hear the thunder in the background. I just hope we don't lose electricity. I need to finish this video today. I love that. Oh, this is such a good color combination. Next, I'm going to go into this blue matte shade. This one is called Pseudo. And I'm taking that on a Refer 26. This is definitely a brush I would recommend picking up because it is a very versatile brush. You can use it to do the work that I'm doing right now on the lower lash line. You can use it, like spray it and use it right here in the inner corner. You can use it to help you define maybe a cut crease. Always, Refer 26, it's always going to be on one of my top favorites lists just because I use it so much for so many different things. Adding some more of Blue Heaven with the same Refer 26. I did spray it. I cleaned it off and I sprayed it. And now I am going to pop off camera and do some finishing touches. I'm probably going to do some lashes because I've had this face of makeup on all day. And I feel like my lashes need a little bit of help. So I'll be right back to show you the completed look number one. Okay guys, here's the completed look number one. I added my Shop Miss A Alexis lashes to complete the look. For the lower waterline, I went in with this ColourPop cream gel liner. I've been getting a lot of use out of this one lately. It's in the shade Crystal Crush. I think you can find this on the Ulta website as well as the ColourPop website. The mascara I'm using in today's video is this one from e.l.f. It is their latest Lash and Roll mascara. And this is the completed look. You can see how different the shimmer looks on the lid versus the inner corner. Obviously, the shimmer had to go over some of the pink and red, so it takes on a different tone. But I like that difference in contrast. It's a fun look. It's a fun look with this palette. Let's move over to the left eye and we'll start working on look number two. All right, so for look number two, I think I want to do something, let me see. I think I'm going to pack the brown all over the lid and then go in with this shade on top. Let's see let's see how that's gonna work. I'm going in with a Gain Beauty E02 brush. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my Refer 13 to kind of just blend out the edges and define the shape a little bit better. Okay, I think that's a good shape. It's a dark color, so I don't really want it to get away from me all that much. That's why I'm not taking it too high up or too far out. I think it looks good. It's a nice brown. It's kind of like a cool tone brown. It has a little bit of black gray in it. Okay, now I think I'm actually going to use two of the shimmer shadows. So I'm going to start first with this shade and then move in towards the inner corner with this shade. So this first one is called Far Out, and then the other one is called Magic Mush. Using my damp Refer 21, I'm going to focus this on the outer half. Same brush, I just flipped it around. Now this is the shade Magic Mush. Adding a little bit more Far Out. Then I'm going to get my Refer 13 to blend in the crease. Okay. You know what this palette is missing? Like a matte grungy green. I think that would have been a really nice shade to include. For the lower lash line, I think I'm going to just go back in with the brown, the matte brown. I'm using a Refer 26. I'm going to bring some of that green Magic Mush down. I'm going to keep this all the same, just a couple shadows. Going in with Magic Mush on a damp Refer 03. Okay guys, I'll add the finishing touches and I'll be right back to show you this completed look number 2. Alright, so here's the completed look number 2. I just kept it really basic with the eyeliner. I went in with Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Skinny Liquid Liner for the top lash line. Of course, I added the other falsie. And for the lower waterline, I'm almost done with it, the Give by Gwen Stefani eyeliner in the shade Spiderwebs. I love the way both of these looks turned out. I haven't encountered any issues with the palette. I'm enjoying the color story. I'm going to take some quick pictures. I'll probably remove this look because I'm really loving this. Is my favorite of the 2 looks. And I'll be right back and we'll start working on the third and final look with new Melt Electrip palette. Now let's start working on look number 3. So I would really like to use this shade on the lid. I'm already using this shade. I'm using it as highlighter, but you could use this as an inner corner highlight. I don't think I've used this one yet. Head Trip. Maybe we could do these two on the lower lash line and then these two along with this like on the top. So I'm going to pack this shade on all over the lid. The shade is called Pseudo and I'm using a BK203. Same method, I'm going to pack it on with a brush and then use the little Refer 13 to help me blend out the edges and define the shape. Okay, now I'm going to go in with Galactic Love, and I think I'm going to do this all over the lid. I'm using a damp Morphe M124. Now I'm just using the Refer 13 to blend in the crease and along the edge where I place the shimmer. Now I'm going to go in with Strawberry Fields for the lower lash line. I'm using a BH Cosmetics pencil brush. Now I'm going to go in with Head Trip, same brush, but I am going to spray it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Saturn to the inner corner. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to take a little bit of this light blue shimmer and just add a little bit right up here to the brow bone to give it a little something extra. Okay guys, I'll take care of finishing touches off camera and I'll be right back to show you the completed look number 3. Okay guys, so here's the completed look number 3. Same everything with the exception of the lower waterline. I went in with a lip liner. This is the LA Girl Neon Shockwave lip liner in the shade Outrage. I use this one quite a bit as well. I love the way this look turned out. I was able to use all 10 shades amongst these 3 looks. Let me go ahead and wrap up today's video. I'll share with you guys my final thoughts and I'll give you guys some alternatives in case you're not going to be able to pick this palette up. So my thoughts on the Electrip palette are that it's a very easy palette to work with. I didn't encounter any duds as far as the shades go. You do get a mirror over here. I think all 10 shadows worked perfectly. They all coordinated really well with one another. Is this a color story that we haven't seen before? No. We've definitely seen this color story before. Maybe not necessarily from Melt, but we've seen it in other brands, and I'm going to show you some comparisons in just a second. I like the ratio of matte to shimmer shadows in here. Let me see, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shimmer shadows and 4 matte shadows. I had a good time with this palette. This is a nice, beautiful color story for year round. The Electrip palette is getting 2 thumbs up from me. I thought it worked great, but it is $58. It's not on the cheaper side of price tags. I did get this for 30% off. They do have a site-wide sale going on at the time that I'm filming this video, but at the time that you're watching this video, I'm not entirely sure if that sale or that discount code is still valid, but I liked that I was able to get this for 30% off, and I hope it goes to Sephora during the VIB sale. So fingers crossed if you like it that it does. That way, in case you missed out on the Melt sale, you can get during the Sephora VIB sale. Now, what if you're saying, Steph, I'm not going to be able to buy that. That's just too much. It's out of my budget. What do I have in my stash, or how can I shop my stash, or what are some other palettes that are cheaper than this one? Well, I pulled out a couple from Beauty Bay. I pulled out the New Mood palette. Keep in mind, some of these Beauty Bay palettes are limited edition, so I'm not entirely sure that this one is in stock. I know the other one I'm going to show you is not in stock, but I know a lot of you probably picked it up. This New Mood palette is beautiful, and let me hold it up next to the Melt palette, and that way you can see how closely in color stories they resemble one another. You have the red or pinkish peach shades, brown, blue, a little bit of green in there, the peach. I think New Mood is a great alternative at a fantastic price point because I think this palette regular price is $18, and then Beauty Bay is always having a bunch of sales, so you can definitely get this for less than its original price. If you have Wilderness, I think Wilderness is a really good alternative to the Melt palette. Let's see, I can hold these up a little bit better. Let's do it like this. Look at how similar these color stories are. Now, Wilderness is out of production. They're not making this anymore, but if you have it, and I know a lot of you do, look at this. Look at these. These are almost identical. And Wilderness, if you like green, you get a lot more green in that one. I pulled out 2 palettes from Juvia's Place. I pulled out the Culture palette just because it does have some of those peach and yellow tones. We have the blues in here as well. It's not spot on, and but it's a different option, and it'll give you some more colors like purples and pinks. In case you're not going to be picking up the Melt one, you can see the Culture palette. This Culture palette was on sale the other day at Ulta, but Juvia's Place is always running a bunch of sales on their website as well, so you can kind of see the similarities here. The other palette I pulled out from Juvia's, which I don't know if this one is in stock. If it's in stock, it might be only on their website, but this is the Walhalla 2 palette, and here they are next to one another, so you can see what I mean about the blue with the peach in there. We don't get that pop of red. You do get like some purples and blue tones in Walhalla 2, but these Juvia's Place palettes are around $30 or less, and then like I said, they always go on sale, and Juvia's Place does have a really nice formula. One of the first palettes that I thought of when I saw this color story was the latest one from Too Faced, and this is their Italian Spritz palette. So both of these palettes are similar in price point, but here you can see just how similar they are in color story. Not spot on, but I feel like if you already picked up the Too Faced palette, you don't need this one from Melt. I actually think the formula on the Too Faced palette is pretty decent, but if I had to choose between the two, I would definitely go for the Melt one instead. I like the darker tones that the Melt palette has, and I like the formula better than I like the Too Faced formula. And last but not least, Natasha Denona Zendo next to Electrip palette from Melt. I think you guys can see the similarities there, minus that gold shade, greenish gold shade on the end of Electrip, which you don't have in the Zendo palette, but they are really similar to one another. Really similar color stories. I would say you can get deeper looks with the Melt palette, but maybe that's not your thing, so I would definitely go with the Zendo palette. It's a really nice formula, and if you've never tried Natasha Denona, they might be having a sale on their website, but she has a very, very nice formula, a very consistent formula. I know from time to time Melt can be inconsistent when it comes to their palettes, but I can honestly say that I haven't encountered a dud palette, and I have a few of them in my stash. I forgot when I mentioned earlier that I had 4 or 5 palettes. I actually have more than that because their last release were 4 mini palettes, and I picked up all 4 of those mini palettes, and I think they all perform great. So even if you have all 4 of those little mini palettes, which I think you can find in stock right now on the Sephora website, then you probably have enough colors and shades to where you could probably dupe this palette outright with those mini palettes from Melt. But that wraps up today's video, guys. Electrip palette, I think it's cool. I think it's nice. I like the packaging. Now I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of the palette? What do you think of the color story? Is this in your future? Maybe you ordered it already. Let me know which look you like best. Are you team 1, 2, 3, none, all? Sound off in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers. I'll see y'all very soon. Bye.